Hello. I've been a bit burnt out recently. Let's talk about it. My name is Connor, and I'm making a first-person action RPG with tabletop dice mechanics in the style of similar games from the 90s and early 2000s. If that sounds like your kind of thing, please like and subscribe. As I said last video, I was in desperate need of a change. Burnout is no joke, and being a solo dev with fibromyalgia, I really have to pace myself. Links below if you'd like any information on fibro. To me, burnout comes in two flavours. The first kind is doing the same task day in, day out without any break. The task requires brain power to do, like sorting folders in a box, but your brain is just desperately looking for some kind of stimulus. The second kind for me is trying to deal with a problem and every solution you try fails. You feel like you're just smashing your head into a brick wall. I did a little work on editor stuff for the eventual dungeon generation things, but to be honest, I really need to leave coding alone for a bit. Essentially, it has succeeded in hitting both types of burnout in the same task. So how do I deal with burnout? Sometimes going for a walk really helps with breaking up monotony and giving your brain something else to think about. This, however, is just a stopgap. At some point, you're going to have to deal with the problem. Also, procrastination is never good, either for getting your project done or for your mental health. This is where doing something related but utilizes different skills helps while still keeping interest in your project going. It could be anything: planning next stages, getting reference materials, storyboarding, writing scripts for YouTube videos. Not only will these tasks be useful, but thinking about your project from a different aspect will allow your brain to make new connections. You may come up with the elusive answer to your problem while doing something completely unrelated. Brains are a bit weird like that. These are just my solutions to problems. Yours may differ. Sources of your burnout might be different to mine. The only universal piece of advice I can give is that the only mistake you can make with burnout is trying to power through it. Sometimes you have to, and that just sucks. But in all cases where you can walk away or do something different, that is always the best answer in my experience, both for your project and your own mental health. So, what did I do to escape my burnout? Well, I figured I really need to nail down the visual style of my game. I had some vague ideas of what it was to look like, but not the details. So, concept art. I decided to work on concept art for one of the monsters, the speakers. Forgive the low-res time-lapse, I'm still getting used to Critter and how the time-lapse feature works. After some experimentation, I settled on style from the old D&D monster manuals and choose-your-own-adventures like Fighting Fantasy. I tend to use concept art as part of a digital manual to give that real old CRPG feel. I also have been looking at what artwork I need to include as part of the game Steam page. There's a helpful guide provided by Valve as to what needs to be included. This has led me to really think about what I want to call my game. This is not as easy as it seems. It has to be easy to say, not generic, related to the game somehow, and more importantly, not already taken. The cosmology of my world is that it takes place in a place of calm in a sea of chaos. The gods and spirits of the world cling to and live inside this as a refuge. I took that idea and went from there. I went through God Refuge, Refugium, which is excellent but already taken, link below. God Sanctuary, which is on the nose but sounds like a place where you rehome lost and unloved gods. God Sanctum, which is less bad but doesn't quite roll off the tongue well. God Sanctum just doesn't mean refuge at all anymore. And then hit the Thesaurus, which is great when you're really stuck. After some thinking, I finally came up with Soulkeep. It's kind of related. The spirits are souls, and if you think of keep as like a fortified structure, which is what the world kind of is against the elements, I think it works, and it's kind of snappy. So, time for some audience engagement. What do you guys think? Will you find it in your hearts to rehome a god? With a name in hand, I have started to work on images for my store. I started with the idea that this is the game of a fictional fantasy paperback book. I began by creating some black and white title artwork. From this, I created a mock cover. Fade it, add some inconsistency and some cracks, and then you have it fresh from the second-hand bookshop. I then used this artwork to create various size capsules Steam requires. The main one I'm leaving simple like this, as I intend to add some characters to my game, characters I have yet to finalise. What do you guys think? Let me know if the capsule images work for you. And here it is, the final concept art for the speaker, complete with stained, cheap paper, page numbers straight out of your favourite adventure book. In the future, I tend to create some videos about the world my game takes place in. I intend to introduce creatures and concepts like the speaker via in-world text, and I'll be doing some more concept art in the future. Let me know if this is the kind of thing you're interested in. I'm unsure as to what I'll be working on next, but this break has already got me back into thinking about code and implementation, so probably dungeons. most likely, most definitely, dungeons. Until next time.